right? Device was and still is, in some extent, part of a system. He was one of the threat, one of the tool in the Swiss knife. Whereas when Vanguard were winning, and VP didn't really win that much, so I'm not going to use that sentence. When a Vanguard were winning, it was really, truly through James' peaks, through his tricks, through his shenanigans. So once you figure that out, that is it. There is no depth to the game. He used to be good when he was put in the right position, but I think on the long term, there's no way you can build a game plan that is always going to work. It just has to be one part of your tool shed, and it just was the only one that they had.
You want me to add something in there, Samler?
Yes, please. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I'll even contrast it, okay, with another player who is often scrutinized, who has a lot of memes around him, and people act as though this guy doesn't know what he's doing, which I would say is Art from Furia. Now, he's another guy who came on with a very unusual style, complete opposite end of the aggression scale, sure, but people would have said the other way around. Like, this guy's just feeding, like, what's he doing? These moves are stupid. Like, yeah, you beat Astralis, but people will figure that out. It'll never work. As we pointed out earlier on in this tournament, the stats bear out that guy is actually making it work. He is making this incredibly unorthodox style work. No one knows why, but the results are there, right? And the success rate, even statistically, tells you that actually he gives his team more chances to win. That's the key thing here. It's not about the concept of playing defensively. It's not about the concept of saving the AWP. My favorite player, Device, saves the AWP all the time. The point is he saves it when it's the correct time, when it's going to lead to a buy round. He doesn't do it because he doesn't want to die in a 1v2. He doesn't do it so that he doesn't get a death on the score. He doesn't do it so he can bait two people in a 1v3, get the kills, have 2 kills, maybe have 1 death, 0 deaths, and go and look awesome on the scoreboard. Right. He's not playing for a box score. He's playing to win the championship. So that's my problem overall here is it's about how you balance out what you do within the server, and how aggressive you are, how defensive you are, has to make sense in that balance. Like if you have players who will play on the other end of the spectrum, now we can start to work with it. The problem in their team is, as like Maniac said, they've built too much of the game around Jim for me. If he was just that dreaded term, the support AWP, I could live with that. You just put him over on one side of as an anchor or something. You just say, just stay alive, just kill people when you can and give us time to rotate. That's not really what I see within this team. I feel like they do give him resources and attention because of his status and the fact that he's the biggest name player in the team. Whereas I look at the squad and actually someone like Yakinda, I hope he isn't going to get pushed to the fringes of the system and basically forced to prove himself to get a spot. Because if I'm bringing a guy like that in, it's because we're lacking firepower and I'm going to make him the star.
So you have Yakinda on your screen there. But I want to kind of shift focus over to Mousesports now, because I mean, if anything, then at this point, what I'm gathering from these conversations is that Mousesports should murder Virtus.pro. This should be a Mousesports, a clear Mousesports win. We saw Mousesports go up against Mad Lions, 15-15 there. They're clearly dialed in. And so going up against Virtus.pro, we should see a Mousesports that should dominate. Should we not, Maniac?
We should indeed, and I think they have used all the jokers they had at hand, right? That is it. There is no tolerance anymore. They need to destroy them from the get-go. Mousesports continuously in that tournament have had slow starts, 0-5, 0-6, 0-7, having to fight back and having poor CT side, but as Duncan pointed out, they have the amazing T side so they can bounce back and everyone's happy. It should not be the case. Now they've had enough time to warm up. Today they played the first game. They go into the second one. They should have the great start, and it goes through 2 factors. First of all, it's individuals actually starting 100%. Not having 1, 2, 3, 4 clutches to warm up and make the right decisions, which is what happened in the other games. And the other one is, for God's sake, please, when you have control in the round, and I know they realize that's one of the issue. When they have control in the round, just take it easy and close it. I mean, in Mousesports, one of the recipe for success is that they have very explosive players, both in terms of in-game and also, the attitude. There's a lot of energy. You have a guy like Kerrigan, a guy like Woxic, and it has a very big plus side to it for sure. The downside of that, or that coin, is that whenever you have made the difference in a round, you should be able to dial it back. You should be able to have a switch in your head that says, oh, that is it. 4v2, the round is done. I just have to hide, I just have to make the crossfire, and that is it. I should lower my voice, I should keep my focus, and I should just kill the guy that comes in front of me. I feel like they missed that switch just a little bit. I hear the energy on the team speak and the amount of stamina they put in it, and whenever they are in control, it feels like they are still at 150 km/h on the highway. They don't really slow down, and to me, that's like the one avenue that they truly need to improve in.
Need a bit of that control, when they push to 300 on the Autobahn. That's what I'm hearing
exactly.
now. So, Doran, do you concur with what Maniac is going on here in terms of individual coming through for Mousesports?
Well, like he said earlier, I mean, it's Frozen particularly that I tunnel in on, because I do think composure is his biggest problem. He's obviously still such a young player. And essentially, by getting to play with great players like Rops now, and then in terms of an in-game leader, Carrigan, he's somewhat been boosted up the competitive ladder faster than he would have otherwise. If he'd had to keep grinding in teams within his region or tier 2 or tier 3, I think he would be more in the vein of an Esperanto, like a very skilled player. And people are like, well, you know, he hasn't quite made it yet, but let's see where he is in a year or two. Maybe that's when you're a FaZe Clan type player where we recruit you. But I think right now, from being in the squad he's in right now, he's nearly always the X factor in the game, because you've got Woxic, this very aggressive carry player on the AWP. You've got Rops, this more like balanced all-around player who's going to kind of like take care of the game and be very responsible. They balance each other out. So the third guy who should make them this monster fragging force should be Frozen. But the problem is, for me, he's where like Rops was, say, 2 years ago. Like, he's still in the squad. He's still waiting to get his experience. He's not yet going to be that dominant force. So at the moment, this is a guy where, as harsh as it sounds, I would really say to him, listen, the reason why you've got to keep working on your development, you've got to work on your mental game, is you could be the guy that wins us these championships. Like, the others, they're somewhat set in their roles. Carrigan and Christian aren't going to frag out of control. They're there to be the experienced element, to make the structure of the team. So if you're Frozen, all the development that you can undergo could literally move this team from 10th to 5th. That you could one day be the number 1 team in the world. I hope, quite frankly, that he has a Rops-esque progression, not least because he has an all-round skill set. He can AWP, he can rifle, everything, where he could be like Rops was last year, where he's legit just one of the best players in the world himself. And imagine a team like this years down the line, if you had Rops and Frozen and they were at like top 20 player in the world status.
Well, we just got word right now that Nickelback is going to be subbing in for Adren.
Now you remind me, Semler.
I just said that Nickelback is going to be the sub for Adren here for Virtus.pro, because apparently I was not expecting that.
I'm getting word. Oh, sorry. And Creed has been drafted in by Mousesports. No word yet on Pearl Jam.
Just waiting on, for them to reach into the bag and pull out the tool necessary for winning this. As far as Nickelback is concerned, fantastic. He's joining up because Adren's PC has decided to blow up. So they do have the option to bring in one substitute, and, well, obviously Virtus.pro are going to be using that. So in a moment, we'll have Nickelback joining. I know, name like that. Do you think he's going to drop a sick album? And
this reality can't be real, can it? It's all just fake. This is just nonsense background trivia details that are just coming up now.
It's when they need to repeat it in your ear 3 times for you to actually take it seriously, where it's like, no, it's not right. It's not right. But, I mean, does that change anything now? I mean, we've just gone over the fact that Virtus.pro, I mean, right now, Virtus.pro are pretty much trying to play spoiler with where they're at in the groups. Sure. They haven't won a single game. They're out of it. So the whole thing here for Virtus.pro is to play spoiler and try and take down Mousesports and ruin Mousesports' position in the groups. Is having a substitute player going to improve that? Maybe they start playing a bit looser now that they have a sub in and they can just kind of scrim it. I mean, we're on Dust 2 after all.
We're reaching. We are really reaching right now, and I appreciate. You know me. I try to be positive. I try to look at the bright side of life. So I appreciate your effort. But in what reality do we end up saying that Nickelback playing for Adrian is a better status to be in for VP? Like, you lose your IGL. Well, is he playing Counter-Strike regularly, or is that a pure theoretical coach that hasn't played a game in about 5 years? Because that also kind of changes the discussion. I mean, if he's able to shoot at someone quite literally, then why not? You loosen up a little bit, you don't follow the strategy, you become unpredictable, you do whatever you want, and one time out of 20, it can work. Now, if he never plays Counter-Strike ever, then where does that leave us?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say about this is, like, the main problem here is that it's not like the player coming in is some monster player. That's my issue here, is if this was just any random CIS player who's like a decent fragger being drafted in, there's a crazy world in which this increases VP's chances to win the game. You have a player no one can account for, no one's prepped for, on a map where it might even work to have this guy play, and for arguably your worst fragger overall in the game. Yeah, there's the whole, like, you've lost the in-game leader angle. Luckily, they've swapped in-game leadership around many times in this team. I feel like for a best of one, you could make it work. My biggest problem is, like, this isn't like some big-name player who's coming in. This isn't like some superstar mercenary coming in. So that's the issue, unfortunately. I think it probably does make them weaker.
It was going to be a tough battle for Virtus.pro, and it's only gotten more difficult. So thank you, gentlemen. We're going to be going to a quick break. I'm told that the teams are ready. So we're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be live with the match between Mousesports and Virtus.pro. The fans are here. So let's get at it.
No VP, no VP.
I want to talk a little bit to the esports world, but especially to you CSGO pros about the Mamba mentality. I'm sick and tired of some of the things, some of the talking points that are coming out of these pro players. Like people saying, oh, well, I won a major, so what is there left for me to accomplish? Think it through. 2 majors, 3 majors. How about being the best you can be? If you could win 5 majors, if you could set the record, go ahead and go for that. That's what the Mamba mentality is about. It's about pursuing greatness. It's about building a legacy for yourself. It's about actually trying to be the best you can be, whatever level you're on. How about you actually try and develop your game, master your craft, leave a legacy? One day that money will be spent and all that will remain is your legacy, what you actually did and how you lived your life. How about competing to take what's yours for yours so you can get that money, you can secure that career, they have something to look forward to in their lives. I die for people who are mine. Will you live for yours? That's what I want to say. Mamba mentality, carpe diem.
Welcome to the Blast Premier Spring Showdown, where some of the best teams in the world get a last chance to qualify for the Blast Premier Spring Final. To get there, they will have to battle not only each other, but an elite group of up-and-coming teams as well. In the European Showdown, 10 teams are divided into 2 groups of 5. Each group plays a best-of-1 round-robin format. The top 4 teams from each group advance to the playoff. The 2 teams finishing 5th are eliminated. In the playoff, teams are matched up across groups. 4th place from Group A will play against 3rd place from Group B, and vice versa, in 2 quarterfinals. The winners of each quarterfinal will face the 2nd place finishers from the groups in the semifinals. Ultimately, the winners from each semifinals will play against the winners of each round robin. The 2 teams emerging victorious from this gauntlet will claim 2 of the last 3 spots at the Blast Premier Spring Finals. For the teams finishing 2nd in their gauntlet brackets, 1 spot in the finals will remain. They will have to fight it out one last time to see who will claim it.
And here we go. Just a little bit of a delay, but we should be getting into the match. It's VP and Mousesports, but with a stand-in playing in the mix. Jason, how are you feeling?
I don't know. VP has been a struggle for me to really get on board with throughout this event. They've looked pretty gross. The stand-in issue isn't going to help whatsoever, but it is fascinating that his name is Nickelback, the worst band of all time.
Well, at least, you know, with a lot of memes following them around, I feel like that's a positive. So
I don't even know if this is going to show up once we eventually do get the game started, but at the moment his nickname in the game is Nickelback 666. It literally cannot get any worse.
He somehow made it even more troublesome. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I think it's gonna be an uphill battle no matter what. If it somehow does make VP worse, then somehow that's still like a disturbing story for the team overall. So yeah, I don't know. We've ended up in a weird position. Mousesports, this should be a good chance for them to flex a little bit, you'd have to say.
Surely they won't let this be a tie. Surely this will not go 30 rounds and end in 15-15. I think on a little bit more serious, I think there's a shame here for Virtus.pro, considering I was actually happy that this ended up on Dust 2 for them, because the way that we've seen them playing Counter-Strike at Blast Premier so far has been very much like spread across the map, and there's like 2 or 3 players taking individual fights at different parts of the maps. We saw it on Vertigo, and Dust 2 is one of the maps where that actually can work. You can be a little bit more individual. Here's Jame leading the way out long. He's found Rops very quickly, so a 5-on-4 early for Virtus.pro.
Yekindar are going to be picking up the USP, and they all group up down there towards the pit. For another fight, headshot on Woxic will take him down. It's such a luxury when you can steal one of those USPs, especially when you've decided to go long. Carrigan and Frozen are still up here, but we would have to see some really cool tricks coming out of them for a chance to actually defend this. Second smoker's up, they rush past. Carrigan gets a kill, but Frozen goes down. And they want to fight as well. Carrigan actually, yeah, in some danger there. And Kickit is holding down in pit. This should be a round for VP.
Oh, I like that attempt from Kerrigan, though. Unfortunately, not going to pan out. Sanji gets the last 2 kills. 1-0 for VP. I think that there is also this weird world where with this stand-in, Virtus.pro actually looks a little bit better than they will with the Dren. Not because you know, I think he's necessarily a better player, but you never know how that is going to like change the focus of them coming in, realizing they have to play with the stand-on. The environment probably feels a little bit different, and I mean this could be. It's not like they were playing all that great to begin with, so even if this shakes things up, that might actually end up being just a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Ooh, no. Robs with a disgusting headshot from the scout. Yekindar never really saw what hit him there. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, maybe it could make some of the players on this team play a little bit more loose. Because, like, we know Kickit and Sanji should have the aim to do, it feels like, maybe more than they have been doing. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, anything goes at this point, I guess. Roll those dice.
I'm glad Rops is getting back to the B bomb site. Woxic is going to commit inside as well because they had 3 players in middle. Now they have to defend against this hit. Rops is going to get forced out. That's a scout. That's going to go down. Woxic as well. Spammed through the door very low. Flashbang comes in, but there's nothing they can do with it. Kerrigan hoping he'd find 1 kill. That should be the round secured as VP cross over into the site and get the plant going.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a nice enough turnaround considering they lose Yekindar right off the bat. You'd hate to see them give it up right away, VP, once they had won that pistol round. But yeah, good turnaround there. Scout still in play for Woxic and a couple of deagles, so yeah, saving it kind of does make sense. It'll be the 3rd round before we see if we can get some more scout kills in here. Woxic is miles away.
Miles away. 2-0 for VP as they hang on to the lead. This would be a pretty crazy upset if we get all the way down. We just saw Saul taking on Vitality on this map and causing the upset there. That was pretty painful. VP is out. As I'm looking at our graph, they really have they only have 1 possible tiebreaker. That's with Dignitas, and they lost that matchup. So there's no way VP can actually move on. So again, another team that is just here to play spoiler against Mousesports.
Ooh, okay. Maybe that's why Adren didn't show up. Maybe his PC didn't crash at all, and he just decided, you know what? Let's can't be bothered.
I
doubt it.
guys, my PC is gone. I swear.
Yeah. I dropped it out of my window. Oh.
Chance for Woxic. Missed the shot. He's forced back as well. Wall of smoke's being put up here. All 5 players of Virtus.pro are attacking towards long. It's Woxic with a chance to slow them down.
Chris hiding up there on the bomb site and actually getting a kill before he goes down. So I guess that is something. Pretty good grenade lands right on top of Nickelback. So and unfortunately.
What was your favorite Nickelback song?
I think more than anything, the photograph one. I don't know what the name of it is, but just because of the incredible amount of memes that it's been used in, it's actually amazing. Like, they didn't mean for that to happen, but the contribution is really something.
Their contribution to modern society is memes.
Yeah, like
Lovely.
I think so. Which again, you know, shouldn't be underestimated. It's obviously not what their mission was. They wanted to try and make a band, but I guess you'll take what you can in modern age. You just have to accept it.
Yeah. 3-0 for Virtus.pro. Well handled, and 2 players save their armor. Able to have some cheap upgrades, and they get the M4s next to him on the Mousesports side. So let the defense begin. Now that everyone has rifles, everyone has every weapon they would like to fight back. 1 kit on Kerrigan, but it's full utility across the board. Frozen adds a kit right in at the end, so retakes are a possibility there in the cards now.
I mean, we saw what happened when in our last game, when if you get off to a bad start. I mean, Saw had a pretty good run in the beginning before Vitality started to sort of make it back in the game a bit. So don't want to see the same thing out of Mousesports. They've already lost Kerrigan over to Jame on long, and that's a nice beginning for VP.
Yeah, we called Jame out a lot yesterday because he was, you know, playing more towards the meme side of things in his choices. But he had the opening kill on the pistol round. Now he's got the opening kill here on round 4. So already he is like 10 times more aggressive than he was in the entirety of Blast Premier up to this point.
Yeah, which is again, you know, one of the things you wonder, right, when they don't have their full lineup is that part of it. Just James saying, you know what, like I can flex on them with this AWP. But again, we wish he would maybe in some of the regular games where he does seem to be playing really far back. Nice enough Molotov, but it's put out with a smoke, and Frozen is here for this exact reason. Seeing the B split coming, or at least the mid push coming. Not even a B split, really. Chris shoulder peeking that. Maybe it could confuse that no one's coming up. But finally, Jame is showing up from upper, but I think it's about 30 seconds too late.
Yeah, and he's going to have to turn from the flashbang. Rops is going to swing with it. No chance for recovery. And Frozen does his job perfectly. Even though 1 player slipped past, that was Sanji who gets a kill into the bomb site, he takes all the strength out of that attack. There was no way Sanji could have expected the 2nd position of Rops. And the good opportunity provided by Jame, the nice opening kill that he gets, it's squandered. As Frozen puts a stop to it. Mousesports had that red the whole way. I mean, as soon as the mid-round was going on and they felt some silence, that was actually 2 players in CT spawn aggressive towards mid. That's where the boost up came in. Even on the rotation back, it was Woxic, but he stayed at elevator as well. So they always felt that that was going to be a hit towards the B bomb site from middle. Frozen with the pop flash is going to get 1 kill and massive damage onto Kicker.
Shame he couldn't get back around the corner there. Would have been interesting if he could have made his escape. Not going to happen. Bomb outside of long, and speaking of long, Sanji and Jame are starting to make their way out. Kerrigan in the pit, he nearly got his face taken right off there. Get a Molotov the corner, and Woxic now coming in to try and help him out. He has another Molotov and an HE, but no grenades to sort of make Kerrigan swing for any fights here. Oh, Sanji, that was a bit reckless, a bit careless.
Chris J gonna back in towards CT spawn. And VP want to get aggressive. They're gonna have to swing they're gonna be very committed in this, and they have no utility, so it's gonna be all fights. Chris J, if he finds the right timing, there is nothing to stop him from wreaking havoc on this attack, but they're being very quiet outside of that scope. And Chris J just hears him fall back. Yekendar's already up at the box, and Chris J's not going to see it. Oh, he just turns. This is perfect. Yekendar coming into the bomb site. He's going to find a free kill at the back of the platform, but still he hears Chris J running. There's the shot, and the follow-up is not in, but Rops is low. One nade could finish him off, but it's a headshot. 2 on 2, and the B bomb site is open.
Big chance here for VP to turn it in. Yeah, what an upsetting scenario that would be for Mousesports. Cut deep into their money. And Carrigan sneaking in, but he's going to get taken out. Jame, nice sort of peek there. He's really being active in this game right now. Kickert goes down, and now it's a one-on-one. Woxic versus Jame, or versus Orb. Actually, he's going to throw that away. He wants to see if he can find the AK inside of the door, hoping for a single miss on Jame, who's also picked up an AK-47 in the corner. Every chance to do this, and he'll win the fight. Great round out of Jame, and a nice triple kill.
Yeah, this is the Jame Virtus.pro is going to need if they want to cause an upset here, or even at any later stages in the event. Jame is very switched on, 7-1, probably the best performance we've seen from him so far in this event. It's only in the first 5 rounds, so very cool to see him showing up in this fashion to help power VP to a 4-1 lead.
I like the fact there's some stress on the Mousesports coach side, who has, I think, one of the more interesting, backgrounds in his room there. Don't know if you noticed.
It's like a dollhouse, right? I saw Launders tweet it out.
Launders scrolling, so yeah, they were both talking about it. They were obsessed with that. Can't really blame them for it, to be honest. Okay.
So you're obsessed too? You like what you see?
Yeah, good choice of colors. Good little kids' toys back there. I think it's great. 4-1. Yeah, no further comments, Jason?
I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. Woxic's brought down to 24 HP, and VP is attacking long. Woxic on the other side of the smoke. A chance for one, a chance to double him up. Sanji brought low, and VP, they're going to back away from it. They have to be very careful, again, because they're so low on nades. And it's just, there's a minute and a half left in this round. They've got 3 smokes and a Molotov to work with on the T side. They've lost a player, and they have Sanji at 15 health.
Yeah, and those grenades are really what can make it much trickier for all of the weapons really on the Mousesports side to do anything. So if they throw them and get slowed down so that Mousesports can have some clean shots, that would definitely be a bad way to go. See Carrigan here, he's going to get smoked off. We'll see if Woxic can rotate back in time to actually do some damage here. The Eagle, hard to find anything on Woxic is down. That's an important kill for Kickert. Now Carrigan running through, and oh no, he's waiting a second, lining up that kill. Good job. More on the other side, but he can't get it done. And that might have been the big chance there. Frozen will find a kill boosted, but they'll get sprayed down, and Frozen will follow them right afterwards.
Good quad kill from Kickert. He continues to perform admirably for this team. 5-1 now for Virtus.pro, and the buy comes back in for Mousesports. Woxic is going to have an op again. There's a chance if they had wanted to go double op, it would have been Glass Cannon. Chris J is going to drop down to the SMG. He seems to be the economy fiend, where he's the one passing weapons off to other people and taking the weaker arsenal for himself. Saw him a couple days ago, I think 2 days ago, with some interesting decisions, saving money and buying a Deagle instead. Yekendar falls. Carrigan not nearly as blind as he would have liked.
You said economy fiend, but was there some part of your brain that wanted to say economist? I was hoping you'd say that just because it would make me laugh,
Did I say economy fiend?
You did. You didn't even realize. Well, that was fine. I thought economy fiend was all right, but just calling him an economist would have been funny. Although Counter-Strike players' grasp of the Counter-Strike economy is about on the level as, with regular economists, so it would make sense. Robs,
yeah, but we don't blame. I don't blame the Counter-Strike players for that.
No, that's not a dig on them. Robs with a good spray down after the smoke they did run through. Chris momentarily flashed. That's a little bit dangerous. He's just buying time back here. And this time the MP7 will not be put to use. Robs, though, doing all of the work. And Jame in a tremendous amount of trouble waiting for him to stand back up. But he finally does, only to bring him down. Quad kill on Robs.
Man, Duncan mentioned that Chris J and this team, partially for his experience and his ability to kind of flesh out the structure of this Mousesports team, and the play that he makes just there inside the bomb site is pure experience. It's not obviously going to be on any highlight reel. He's just freezing them in place, taking time. There was a third player rotating over in support. It bought time for Rops. It alleviated a lot of the pressure on people attacking him and gave him time to get comfortable for the next follow-up fight. So I give a big shout out to Chris J in that round with the SMG.
Yeah, it's, I mean, definitely a long time to be staying alive in there and not sort of swinging too early in the fight. Single flashbang thrown by Nickelback. They're not going to get anything done behind it, but I like it anyway. I mean, always good to have it. Well, they will get their 1 kill on Kerrigan, I guess, but even then, I doubt that it's going to be anything further than that. It makes you laugh
too much more, certainly.
Every time someone says Nickelback, it's going to be funny.
I can't do it. It's rough. Every time someone says it, I think of the Thanksgiving halftime show that the Detroit Lions had in Detroit a few years back, where Nickelback was the musical performer.
Did it go down well?
Brings up a rough memory. No, it didn't go down very well. It wasn't well received. Wasn't well accepted.
I haven't seen that, but now I'm gonna have to go Google it. So we'll find a way. Flash on the middle of Chris to set himself up with. Almost catching a kill there. Frozen. The grenade, he'll do very little damage for some reason. That one AK is the only real threat here, I think. So I don't mind the Mousesports are playing this one rather safely and luring them slowly into that. Nice headshots from Nickelback, 2 in a row. And that's going to be a nice, interesting scenario here. Bomb's going to be planted as well. Robson, Chris. But they do. He's got the AWP picked up. He's so ready for this. Definitely his time to shine. And he's got the right angle for it. A little bit of backup coming closer as Chris is getting closer to that corner there. Yeah, he's ready for it. Oh, that's Sanji instead, in fact. And now it's a 1 versus 2. It's turned, and Nickelback, he should have probably had that kill. Now, a little bit scary as Robs is trying to get closer. He's got a couple of more seconds where he can still maybe make this, but he doesn't have a kit currently picked up. Flashbang will not blind them, and it's going to be Sanji going down next. And smart movement from Nickelback, moving all the way into the corner, not showing himself to Robs. That is a tremendous round to be winning. Look at this clutch.
Robs he wanted that kill so bad. He wanted it so bad. I cannot believe it turned, Anders. That is some fine shooting from Nickelback. Oh my lord, the double headshot to get into the bomb site. Look at this. This turn, immediate shot onto Woxic. And he clutches it out from there. He freezes Rops, a very talented player, in his place. Rops could never find a clean shot. And Virtus.pro is just taking it to Mousesports at the moment. This is pretty wild. I think in terms of how we've seen them play, VP beating Mousesports would probably be a bigger upset than what we just saw overcoming. Oh, that was awkward. It would be a bigger upset than Saw taking out Vitality.
Yeah, tempted to agree. And I mean, they're well on their way right now. What if Nickelback turned out to be really good, and he made it pro, and then got bugged, embroiled in some sort of lawsuit with the band? Could that happen?
I was actually just thinking of that when they in the commercial break when they told us that Nickelback was going to be standing in. I'm just that's weird.
I don't know how these things work, but I'm just trying to think ahead, There's still time. Maybe.
Well, you've always been super helpful at telling players to change their aliases for branding purposes. Ooh.
Yeah, I have been trying to do that some of the time.
You've really led the charge on that, I think.
Yeah, so we could get to this guy early and just say, you know what? Just now's the time.
You got a bright future ahead of you, kid. Just need to change a couple things.
Well, we'll get it. We'll reach out. We'll find a way. Find an intermediary and communicate the message. 7-2, 10th round, and all picked up on Woxic again. But this is just a super uninspiring level out of Mousesports in a lot of ways. What is up with that? Rob's at 10 kills. Everyone else.
I don't know.
Well, Frozen and Rob's really, but everyone else kind of not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean this has been a persistent issue with Mousesports recently. They've been dropping maps to a lot of different teams all across the spectrum of professional Counter-Strike. So they've got to be very careful. They're having a really tough time finding any kind of comfortable zone to play consistent Counter-Strike in. 5 rounds back in this first half. And Mousesports obviously still playing as well to stay in this group. They can get anywhere from 2nd to 4th. But man, they've had a lot of ties. The tiebreakers, it's going to be weird to figure out where they go from there. We've seen at least 2 ties out of Mousesports. I think they've had 3 so far in this.
Chris in the right position with the AWP. He's going to catch the second player in, and that was Sanji. But a nice return. Jame immediately taking up the position. They're going to go check the corner, and Robs will not survive that M4 and the headshots. Not enough to bring someone down, and that's the round. Now 8-2 in favor of VP.
Yeah, well, at least Mousesports has called this save early on. At least I mean, if you're going to reach for some silver lining, which I always enjoy doing, nobody was even close to supporting that B bomb site, so the round was over very quickly. They get to just try it all over again.
I don't think there is a silver lining, Jason, when you're losing to Nickelback 666. That's...
Why does it have to be like this? 8-2 in the favor of Virtus.pro. A shocking start to this map. Dust 2 might provide us with yet another upset victory.
It's so strange because I can't even think of a reason why Mousesports wouldn't be playing a better game. Maybe not just even, you know, in this particular match, but just in general throughout the games we've seen the last couple of days. I just look at their lineup and I think this should be, yeah, that's, I exactly share that feeling that the Mousesports coach was just displaying. Rubbing your forehead, just the early stages of a headache, that kind of thing.
Here we go. Kicker gonna lead the way out long for the moment. And those odds have shifted now in the favor of Virtus.pro.
Oh dear.
Kickart's at the corner. He can turn it with a pop flash. You have the AWP on Woxic to deal with.
Yeah, Woxic taking a more shallow position. Trying to fall back a little bit. Doesn't want them to be able to jump all the way down on him. But they're all out here. They're not in upper dark. They're not in middle. If Mousesports was even a little bit aggressive somewhere, they'd pretty quickly find out that no one was here. But the way that they're playing right now, if they get close enough to double smoke that cross and they get even 1 kill on, let's say, Kerrigan or Woxic, they immediately at least get the bomb plant, and then it's another retake.
Well, there's the first smoke. And yeah, if they cross close to the smoke as well, that site smoke might help them get the bomb plant as well, but they're not committed just yet. No reaction from the Mousesports defense. That second smoke needs to go up pretty quick here, although they could just re-smoke the wall, which it looks like Yekindar and Sanji will do, and they're about to cross. There's the 2 smokes. Flashbang over long. There's a gap in that, a huge gap in that, but Kerrigan noticed it just too late. Woxic is going to get fired out of position. He's got a double kill in holding control, but it's Nickelback to strike again.
Yeah, back with it. Takes a little bit of damage just then, but a 3-on-4. Bomb plant a little bit delayed, and they need to maybe clear a little bit of space. Actually, he's going to go straight for it. It's a pretty good bomb plant, leaving them a chance to maybe stop the defuse from down on long, where James is with the AWP. He's going to get flashed and killed, so he did his job so far. Kicker here with a wild spray that somehow did not connect, and now James, 1 versus 4. No one's coming from. They're all up on this side, so he's going to have clear shots, but still not that easy. See if they could find a way to get rid of him. Smoke goes up, and with the AWP down here, it could be very hard to guess. That's a little bit of a leg shot on Robs, and he'll live through it, and it'll be another round for Mouse. 8-3.
That's good utility usage from Mousesports, because it looked like even in just a 3-on-4, even in a 2-on-4, that might have been possible, doable for Virtus.pro. Nickelback at railing, if he had just been able to find Kerrigan, but he got so blinded. Good sequence from Woxic as well. That secondary peek was huge. And Mousesports find a third, still a long way back from getting into this game. VP still with a commanding lead, and a chance to respond immediately. They have so much money built up.
Sanji making his run out. That's a beautiful entry. Should have been a quick double kill right then. Frozen getting a chance, and he'll get one in return. Looking for another headshot. Nickelback will take him down. And Woxic now This is a little bit one at a time. Kickert will get that return. I don't know about this. I understand that they wanted to come in and help out, but Mousesports ended up fighting very much one person at a time down there. So 2-on-2.
Yeah, 2-on-2 with a lot of time on the clock, which makes this very difficult for the CTs to find a way to work together. It's almost, if you really want to get together and kind of, you almost need to see Rops push towards Catwalk, and you have Chris J in lower dark with the AWP. That might be the best opportunity, and you're centralized across the map, so you can react very quickly to whatever noise cues you hear, whatever information you gather. But for the moment, still remaining split. Chris J is able to watch Catwalk for Rops. And VP is going to come right back to long. One smoke for the cross, but it all depends upon when they get spotted.
And Robs might just be happy enough to stay here and assume that they won't check it. They're going to run boost Jame out. This is the sort of stuff we just never see out of VP normally, so it's kind of exciting to see it come out in this game. 28 seconds and moving up, and again, it's unlikely that they're going to go all the way around the corner and check for Robs, so he's going to hear them as they come past. Smoke, and yeah, he's going to call in Chris from the other side. Might just wait for a second. Could see a crazy jump if he's really feeling it. There's about 13 seconds. Let's see if he's going to go for it. No, instead, sneaking right under Chris on the other side by the catwalk, and that's a free kill for Robs. The smoke was covering him.
This is a rough clutch played by VP. I mean, that's pretty much, all right, James, here's the utility. Good luck. Like, you're off on your own. Kickert not watching for anyone to peek at all. Rops is able to gain that angle way too quickly, and I don't necessarily, although, I mean, it's a big risk, but 2-on-2 is very winnable. I don't necessarily agree with Kickert trying to wrap all the way around to Catwalk to kind of flank the defense when James is just left all alone for that long. Nice recovery from Mousesports, a 4th round for them as they start to come back into this game, and even with the struggles of that long defense, it's looking okay. They're starting to put a stop to these Virtus.pro attacks, and that's at least something positive.
Yeah, they are turning it around a bit. I mean, they're losing a lot of players in the mix, so their economy is still not looking amazing. Double up, though, on the Mousesports side. Looks like a straight B-rush coming in with a lot of different utilities here. Spray going through, but Robs gets completely knocked out, and Chris is getting overrun, and that's it. That happened all in 10 seconds.
I know, it's a mirror image from the last time they came to the B-bomb site, or the last time they pulled off this kind of a rush as well. It's just so hard to stop it. The protocols for B-rushes have gotten so developed. You know, second or third player usually having a smoke out for the Molotov that's put in, and all the flashbangs that get bombed in. It's just so hard for the defenders. And if you're VP, I guess you're starting to say, well, we have a lot of success at the B-bomb site. It's when we go long A, it's when we go catwalk that we start to see some difficulty.
Yeah, so maybe just try and exploit that some more. Maybe again go for some sort of mid-B or something like that. There's a lot of options if you really want to. Everything will be saved, but that's 9 rounds on the board. I don't think many people were expecting this. I certainly wasn't. I think most especially with the... I mean, I hate to say it, but it does feel like VP are playing better with Nickelback in the mix. How does that make you feel?
It's the way you almost had to whisper it. It's the way your voice dropped. You didn't even want to say it out loud.
I don't. But what can we do?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they would have played like this. I don't think it's anything that they're doing differently as a team, although they do seem much more comfortable on Dust 2 than what we saw in Vertigo yesterday, where this is way more like at least focused on trading. But just in general, look, I mean, here's the thing. I don't even think it's a Nickelback coming in, but what we haven't seen from VP at all during this Spring Showdown is James and Sanji showing up. James got 10 kills, Sanji's got 11, but more than anything, James has actually tried to be assertive here and there on the map. We've seen him with the op lead his way out long and get an opening pick, both in the pistol round and the 4th round. We've seen Sanji getting more involved in the trading and actually attacking the bomb sites. And we've seen them as a unit actually attack a B bomb site instead of try and go for picks everywhere. So I don't know if it's, I think it's too small of a sample size to say they're playing better with Nickelback, but certainly they've come in with a different philosophy or a different energy to their gameplay than we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good breakdown. That's probably true. But again, it's like, you'd wish you could see this more out of VP because that would make them such a more powerful team.
They have so many interesting players on this team,
Yeah.
just between Kickert, Jame, and Sanji. And then for whatever reason, we haven't seen much progression and development out of their gameplay. Woo, woo. Robs didn't have a chance. Neither did Chris J. It's the B-bomb site again.
He just... That's a very violent way of peeking that angle. Just... Rob's trying to stand in the corner and just chill out for a minute. Trying to avoid the sun maybe inside of that bomb site. Just instantly wrecked.
Oh, no. Well, Rops and Chris J are out of money, so if you ever wanted to hit a B-bomb site 3 rounds in a row, it would make sense to do it here. Especially if you could take all these weapons away. Frozen is not fooled by that jump, not fooled by that second player in the doors. One more player coming along, and he knows it. Yekindar jumping around. Frozen's got him as well. Out of the sky. He's an AWPer this whole time. We just never knew.
He's 1 kill away from an ace in a round that they lost about 10 minutes ago, which is, you know, sort of a depressing ace, but not going to get it. Looks like Kicker is going to be running into CT spawn instead. So 10-4 now, favoring VP. What an odd game. This is pretty cool from Frozen.
He picked 2 shots out of the sky, 2 players who were trying to jump and mess up with his aim. He really established his dominance in that sequence. Unfortunately, VP's been establishing their dominance every single round of this half when they head towards the B bomb site. Rops and Chris J, even though they're out of money, have a couple weapons dropped over to them, so that's pretty decent. But still, this is pretty bold from Mousesports to have this standard long setup after you've lost B so many times. Nobody in mid for support. Frozen's on his way over, but it's going to be late. There's the Molotov. There's the indication. Rops is standing in it. He's blind. He's going to burn so low. Nickelback goes down. Chris J and Rops holding on just barely to a crossfire. Now Frozen has arrived for a double kill, a triple, and they finally figure out how to shut it down. But still a monstrous half for Virtus.pro. It's a 10-5 lead from a resurgent VP. We're headed to a break, and we'll see if they can close out Dust 2 when we return.
Please knife him.
Hey, how's it going, everybody at home?
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
For those of you guys who are tuning in, I want to give you a gist as to what this is. It's an interview about games inside a game.
I've got 2 more victims this week, and I can't wait to introduce them to you.
Yeah, he called me a noob. He called me a noob in 2016. Maybe it was just a joke. And then after that, I liked him again.
Jonas Gunderson is joining me today on the Hot Seat, the show where I'm going to ask very tough questions about NIP.
I'm a bit frightened by your intro there, but it's all right.
There's an Inner Cafe owner that paid me in Snickers bars to help fix people's PCs.
I usually have 20 to 25 minutes just stretching out the body.
Lige, it's good to see you, man. You're looking happy, you're looking healthy. Are you as happy and healthy as you look?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm going to take some questions from the chat. So there's a lot of guys out there asking you some specific questions. What would you say Rocker have brought to the table as a coach?
If Issa was in my chair right now, he would say, nothing.
So is everyone happy the Creed got taken down?
Oh, of course.
This volcano has yet to have been explored on any episode.
Living life on the edge, brother.
Oh!
Does Issa go to the gym with you guys?
I'm gonna leave Issa out to dry here. Like, he's terrible at joining me and Alexi and Manto at the gym. He's been lazy as fuck. Sorry.
And then he walks past me and the entire back of his shirt is unironed. The whole back of his shirt.
If I keep it up, I might become the captain of the Valorant team, you know, so holding my fingers crossed.
Mindset. I think for us, it's a huge psychological thing.
And then you feet in the middle every single time. Let's go.
First time at Lobby, I actually insulted him in game. I'm sorry, Nico.
Did you call him a noob?
Okay, so I'm gonna...
Actually, I go first.
Okay, you can do it. I'm right behind you, man. I'm right behind you.
Oh, damn.
I just need a sip of my chocolate milk.
Maniac and Scorning. Hello, boys. You're back. Yeah. What's happened to Lourdes? Oh, he's back. He's back. He's absolutely fine. No, Lourdes. Scorning. I'm so sorry.
I have forgiven you already.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
That's all you needed, man.
Good night.
All right, see you, dude.
Virtus.pro and Mousesports second half coming up in what's been a bit of a strange game. We dropped the Dren early on. We had Nickelback standing in instead. He's now back to actually being called Nickelback instead of the 666. We'll have to find out if that's a mistake or not. Regardless, it's the second half, Jason. How does this home game make you feel?
This is wild. I can't believe what we're seeing here. VP overcoming Mousesports, at least for the moment, 10-5. That was a great first half. More than anything, it's surprising how VP was able to recover some certain situations. They had that one round that was pretty much over. It was like a 3-on-5 or 2-on-4. Nickelback's able to get a bunch of entries into that A bomb site. That was a round they mostly saved with just one AK-47. So it's things like that. I mean, I guess part of it too, just because of the way we've seen VP play previously in this tournament. Just the continued struggles from Mousesports is surprising that a team with players of this caliber haven't been able to fix these problems on the fly or fix their playstyle on the fly.
Yeah, a lot has been lacking in their style. Seems like they sort of tend to warm up. I think this was a point that Maniac was making as well. Later in the game, so they're good at making comebacks, good at finding ties, but ultimately, yeah, we want to see them do a bit more. They're on the T side now, and they are going to go for a B rush off their own, but there are 3 people waiting. Frozen will take down one. Yekindar flashed. He swings for another fight, but he is going to get tagged and brought out of the round. Kicker unable to catch anyone, so powerful start as Chris is holding the flank, and that should be the round.
That felt like a whole lot of pent-up anger and energy just cathartically being released by Mousesports with that hit. Right into the B bomb site, shutting it down. And this will be interesting to watch how VP are able to defend with Nickelback, if there's going to be any miscommunication, if there's going to be any kind of cohesion. Kickert out of ammunition, and Woxic is ready to pounce, just waiting for the perfect moment. But no matter what happens, this is a pistol round that Mousesports is going to win.
Yeah, good shutdown. And you're right, it could be, how do you like this, some of their own medicine type feel coming out here from Mousesports. Now, how many times are they going to do it? There's a lot for VP in that first half. A lot of success over there.
So it's Yekindar, a young new player in the team, and probably a new player into this level of play, and Nickelback. The two of them defending the B bomb site. That is that'll be something I think Mousesports can lean on if they've noticed which players are there. Why not go right at that? An inexperienced player and one who's not even generally part of this team. So you can see how there'd be some issues that are caused by the pressure applied to the B bomb site, by any kind of mid to B split.
Yeah, I think that's a strong point. I mean, hopefully that's something that they will figure out in the early stages of this half and try to see if they can exploit. That's not a bad idea. And by the time, if VP start to put more resources over on that side, that's another thing you can exploit if you guess the timing right of it. Molotov doesn't really do much of anything there. And a lot of movement on the VP side. They're sort of trying to guess where that hit's going to be coming at, but they're just running back and forth a lot here.
Kerrigan gonna lead the way. Or he's gonna back off. He's made the opposite call. They're kind of just stuck on catwalk, and they're happy with this. They're fine for the moment, but There's no information being gathered anywhere else on the map, so I think Catwalk has got to be the final destination, and there's 2 players at a ramp. That's going to be Nickelback and Jame. Jame with the scout, and there's the utility follow-up, and Kerrigan will indeed be the first one coming off Catwalk, although maybe they wait. Nope, they're going to go right through the smoke.
Eagle here. Oh, it's Jame with a headshot. That's something. Kickert has also picked up a kill. Jame now, they're getting really close to him, and that'll make that scout a lot less effective. He's still trying to find an angle, and yeah, Mousesports kind of slowing down a lot more than I was expecting there. Frozen will pick up a kill, and it's a good luck for him, at least, that Kickert doesn't get that shot immediately. Nice round out of Frozen, some quick reactions, but yeah, they could have lost a lot of players there, Mousesports.
Yeah, they worked themselves out of danger, but VP peeking that railing one by one. If they were ever able to actually get a couple players ready to go for that peak, which is admittedly kind of difficult with the players in that position, and obviously some phenomenal shooting from Frozen tapping away, that could have been way deadlier. 7-10 as Mousesports start to make their comeback in this game. Wow. Ooh, good damage on the cross from Woxic. All 5 players from Virtus.pro at the B-bomb site.
Which I guess they don't know yet. They have an HE on Kickert. And again, they're just maneuvering around, I think, looking to find out where to position everyone. Down the middle they go. But it's it's a slow and steady comeback in the beginning of this second half here for Mousesports. They're slowly making it work. They're doing something now.
Yeah, and there, actually, Chris J, if he just decides to get aggressive, that's a good flashbang. He sees 2, good transfer over. Should be able to get some bonus money. Nickelback did put him down, and Woxic finishes off what he started at the beginning of the round. A double kill for him. And Mousesports just 2 rounds away now from overtaking Virtus.pro, but Jame has the ult back in his hands. And this is where, if you're a VP fan or if you want VP to win this match, you just cross your fingers and hope that Jame continues the assertiveness we saw in stretches of the first half.
Yeah, maybe especially early on here before Mousesports really get up and running. Woxic picks up an AWP. Not seeing anyone down there, so blind shot for the timing sake of it. Jame is down there on the other side with his ult, so gotta be careful. But a pretty default setup right now for the T side. Rob's falling back from upper dark pretty quickly, so didn't want to stick around for too long. They're gonna go
again, Kerrigan just taking control of Catwalk, all on his own. Pretty standard smoke out. There's pressure from Long A as well, which puts Sanji in this awkward position. He might spot the legs, and yeah, that's an easy kill for him right through the smoke. 4 on 4.
Jame did go down in middle. Woxic patiently waiting, but look at Nickelback. He's up in upper dark now, lower dark. He's walked the whole way, and he's not seeing anyone or hearing anyone. Could they set up a good flashbang for Kickert? There it is. They line up against the wall, and it could have been a double spray down. No doubt about it, but not quite going to happen. So another attempt with the flashbangs. They bunch up, and Sanji will connect. That was about a second away from being a disaster. It looked like he was about to fail that whole move, and the Molotov goes into the smoke. Nice flick from Woxic, and it's Nickelback to finish the round.
It's all right, though. Mousesports got 4 players down even in that loss. I really like the defense. Those are the kind of proactive decisions we haven't normally seen out of VP throughout this event. Having someone rotate over to Catwalk, toss the flashbangs out, and then Sanji off the information. He knows there's 2 more stuck along the wall. He pushes to the bomb site, gets another follow-up pop flash, and that is very difficult for Mousesports to quietly move up that long of a distance. And hold the phone, we're going to get a B-rush. Mousesports about to test VP, but they've made a right call. They've got 3 defenders here.
But look at the lineup. Yakandar, that could have been everything. They run into the Molotov, and Kickert is there to get a kill as well with just the MP9. So, yeah, shut down in the middle. Kerrigan drops to Sanji. Absolutely denied.
Oh my god, VP read that the whole way. They might have just made a blind call based off the economy or what happened in the earlier rounds, but man, VP calls Mousesports out. 3 players at the B-bomb site right during the attack, and there's no access. 4-round lead for Virtus.pro, And Mousesports invested a pretty decent amount into that round, so all they can do here is really get hero AWP on Woxic. They've got no other cash. They got to save that. And that is, yeah, talking some trash to people who can't even see them. I like that.
That's the best. They can't talk back in that case, you know, so...
Yeah, you win no matter what, no matter how bad the shit talking is.
Yeah, it's good. He's found the right method there. It's only a 4-round gap. It's just that, again, the economy, just the overall feel of Mousesports right now doesn't really inspire that much confidence.
No, it's actually pretty worrying. It's still some others have caught up. It was Frozen and Woxic for a lot of this, and finally Chris J. Rops and Kerrigan are starting to pick up the pace as well, but I think it's more so. It's not even necessarily any bash on Mousesports. They've just caught VP probably having the best game that they've played in the past 3 days of Blast Premier, which is really unfortunate for a Mousesports side that's played some otherwise good games.
Oh, Sanji missing a couple of shots there. Backup being called for. James is on the other side with the AWP, but dangerous for James to come and help out. Because if Sanji goes down, then James can't get back. He's going to pick up the kill on Rops. That was over at the catwalk. And Sanji going for a wild spray for a long time. And yeah, better if James backs off. Even if it's a bit annoying.
Unfortunately, Sanji didn't get the information either. You can see everyone else from VP is very worried about catwalk. They didn't even boost up until they were able to smoke it off. There's nobody there, but they obviously don't realize that just yet. Pop flash out towards long, and Nickelback gets dinked. James is going to finish off Kicker, and a second one. That's Kerrigan going down. Nice finish to the round, 13-8 in the favor of VP. Now, if you're a Mousesports fan, you should hang your hat on and still have some hope, because Mousesports has showed some incredible resilience in their matches in this event so far. We've seen them have really, really nice comebacks against Fnatic. We've seen them stick in games where it feels like they were going to collapse at any second. And this one has that very same vibe to it, that Mousesports is on the verge of collapse, but they can still come back very quickly.
Yeah, we've seen it from them before, and I mean, all it takes is maybe a couple of rounds there. The odds, though, started to swing pretty heavily against them. VP, I mean, yeah, you could tell 3 rounds away from winning the matchup here. Kerrigan in the middle, that's a huge kill. But James is there. He's hitting every single shot inside of the bomb site. Nickelback is alone, and he can't really hold all 3 back, so he's going to go down. Good round.
That's what I'm talking about in terms of Yekindar and Nickelback at the B bomb site. They both got a little bit confused when Kerrigan gets that kill. One player went up to the window to try and peek out mid. When he turns around, it's an inopportune time as Mousesports is already jumping over the boxes and throwing flashbangs. The SMG close to the smoke gets eliminated as well. No cohesion, no coordination on that hold from the VP defense. So good win from Mousesports with 4 players alive. Still a long way to go, but this is a nice start.
I mean, saving the AWP is pretty good. Some money on James. He could drop for Kick It if he wants to. So they're not completely out of it here, VP, even though they did lose 3 rifles in the round. That's worth paying attention to. 9th round for Mousesports. That's just a step in the right direction. I honestly almost feel, I don't know. I feel like some of these fights we're seeing out of James, the way that he's going aggressively for it, I don't understand why we're not seeing that normally.
Yeah, that's the big question. I think everyone kind of asks themselves that at a certain point, or says that in their own head, like, why don't we see this all the time? But obviously came in today. Maybe he ate the right breakfast, had his Wheaties. Kickert in the other side of mid, and fast-paced up catwalk is Mousesports.
Yeah, just gonna check it out for now. Could again be the initial setup for one of those B splits. I'd love it if Mousesports tried to jump someone down in CT spawn. That would be fun.
I don't know what this defense is from VP. There's no one at long for Virtus.pro, and you have James just out in the open with an AWP, and he's looking towards catwalk. There's actually not a single eyeball on long. Good shot from James. That's the spawn drop, and here comes a mid to B split. Gonna try and find another timing, and he almost had it. This time, both B defenders are attacking in mid. They are coordinated, and they've at least found the first. Frozen takes out Sanji with them. Found from James, and again, there it is. So aggressive and playing so well in this game so far today.
Robsco's looking for him. James right there with the AWP, and he'll take him down. Quad kill and saving the round. My God, it's close, some of these rounds. But yeah, you're right. They actually went for the fight this time, and that made a huge difference.
Is that the James that you're questioning why we don't get round after round?
Yeah. Like, I mean, half the rounds we've seen him play for the rest of this tournament so far has been him not even firing the AWP. And here he is fighting around the smokes. It's gorgeous. It's great.
Yeah, that looked good. And that's going to start putting Mousesports in a really tough spot. 2 rounds away, Virtus.pro, from providing us with back-to-back upsets.
Was that Frozen writing stuff down in a little notebook? I swear that's what we just caught on camera. It's an interesting level of discipline if that's the case. He's like, oh, I can notice something. I'm going to write it down, check it out later.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see out of Frozen as a player who I think probably of everyone in Mousesports has the most room for growth and to develop into some kind of a crazy player, as the desk talked about as well before this went live. Virtus.pro sending 3 players towards long. James is going to be here looking towards mid and catwalk. There's only one defender inside that B bomb site. It's the ringer. It's Nickelback.
Woxic walking right into the fight, and he picks it up. And Nickelback is in a lot of trouble. Yekindar will actually continue where James tried to start it there and taking down Woxic, so that's not so bad, but still a 4-on-4. And if they go for B, what is he going to do in that corner? Why is no one helping him?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, why is there no rotation whatsoever? Sanji's not even pushing towards long. And certainly at this point, you've heard nothing else. Kickard is on his way over, but this is going to be way too late. If they want a chance at winning this, it's going to have to be a retake, and they're going to have Nickelback get 2 kills. They clear him out. It's a hard clear, and he wasn't ready for it. Dodging the flashbang, couldn't recover the aim. Not the biggest disaster just because of the lead. VP can just save these guns. But they're letting Mousesports off the hook in a round where they have very, very low economy.
Yeah, they definitely. I can't actually grasp the idea that they'd leave him alone without even, like, no one was pushing anywhere else. It's not like VP were going to figure something out on catwalk or, like, you know, looking out for middle or something. They just had no idea. Just basically saying, let's hope they don't show up, just in case. Maybe saying a prayer or something is going to make a difference. It obviously didn't.
Oh, well, I mean, they could have used your strategy of having everyone think for Mousesports to buy Negevs when we're around.
Yeah, I think it'll take more than 5 people. I think that had to be everyone watching, Jason. That was the point. Like
that was the point. All right.
I think there has to be like a certain amount of collective brain power, you know?
Kerrigan almost looked away, and look at him. Head on a swivel, spraying everywhere. 4-round lead for Virtus.pro.
2 MP9s.
Ooh.
Far off. Setting up for a bit of a long play here. Rob's already out in the corner, and James and Sanji, I think, smartly are going to fall back and leave it alone. Now, this would be where it'd be really cool if VP could go find some information in Upper Dark and actually see what's coming.
Yeah, again, just it's tough to make that call with these 2 players there and how much pressure has been on the B bomb set at various times. I think this is the weird one. Again, James is just like kind of like halfway committed to defending catwalk, but not fully on it. Now pushing forward a little bit to get the angle, and there's that push into Upper Dark, as you said. Coming just a little bit later than you would have liked, but it's still going to be just as effective because Mousesports is playing so slow. Now, Nickelback has the decision to make, is how aggressive. Is he going to push all the way towards mid, or is he just going to keep an eye on catwalk? Because that MP9, ooh, it's going to do some work from behind. That's Kerrigan down through the smoke, and pushing forward, they would have James to deal with.
Yeah, he's going to start to fall back. Probably a good move. This is a really awkward time for Mousesports to lose a player. It's about 40 seconds. Woxic will take down Kickert. Is that going to open something up? Yakandar is still flanking them all the way in T-spawn, and I think Woxic was actually looking for it. He was worried about it. He might have the right idea, but no, he's going to turn around and get taken down. So now this round is really falling apart. VP not that far away from being at 15 rounds here. 18 seconds on the clock, and the bomb down on Catwalk, and yeah, it's all done with here. Frozen just trying to do something, but not going to be able to win the round at this time. That is, I mean, I'm definitely shocked.
Listen, that's not a round that caters to Mousesports' strengths, and Frozen's going to go down after the timer, which is a complete disaster going into a round that will potentially be the map being lost. But those kind of slow, calculated 5 players grouped up walking around in a death ball, I feel like that doesn't not really suit Mousesports' style or the strengths of their players. If they're going to come back in this and force overtime, it's time to just unleash everyone. It's time to let Woxic go find a fight that he likes. It's time to let Rops be aggressive where he wants to be. Time to let Frozen go find you an entry how he wants to do it.
This is such a strange game. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, I already thought it could be like a little bit of an awkward game, but that was because of how VP have generally been playing. I expected Mousesports to probably pick it up, and when I heard it was a stand-in, I thought, well, that's it. Should be done. Frozen is at 23 kills. He's actually out-fragging everyone in the server, but it's a pretty long drop-off down to 17 on Woxic, and then Kerrigan on 15. On the other side, we've got James and Sanji really stepping it up and doing a lot of work. 15 to 10 in Mousesports now, struggling to try and tie the points here. See if they get 5 in a row with some pretty limited weapons. Do they want to come through? It feels like maybe they will.
Looks like they do. Yeah, and they heard the footsteps for sure. I don't even think James realizes he might be taken out for free. He's not even looking. He recovers in time, but there's nowhere to go. Yeah, straight to the face. That timing was brutal. But listen, I've said it a couple times. That defense at the A bomb site, they're seemingly leaving either long or Catwalk wide open, and it was a matter of time before that occurred. Nice shot from Frozen. Nice shot from Rops. And VP has to fall away. They're actually pretty busted in terms of their own money.
I mean, that was an interesting move. When that smoke went up, it's like James just assumed, well, surely they're not going to come through. And you're right, they probably heard him step a little bit. And the timing couldn't have been better. 2 AKs being carried away to the other side of the map. But Mousesports will find an 11th round without having to put too much effort into it there.
All right, Mousesports with a chance. Mousesports with a decent chance, as they should have a couple nice and easy rounds as VP doesn't have money to play with. 2 AKs on Yakandar and Nickelback, Kickert, James, and Sanji on the 2000s range, so they'll have to wait a little bit longer, but VP have plenty of opportunities to close this out. They need just one more. 1 of 4 rounds left in the half.
Money could definitely be an issue in accomplishing that goal. Mousesports should start to feel like this is, you know, getting a little bit more serious here.
But this, I don't know. I think it's also part of the problem that Mousesports, we've seen them have so many nice comebacks and so many like really resilient recoveries in matches in Blast Premier. It shouldn't have to be that every single time. Like, you know, we shouldn't be talking about Mousesports having to come back from like a 5-round deficit to VP, or against Fnatic, I think they had to rattle off like 2 or 3 straight at the end to force overtime. This is a team that at some point, I mean, it's not going to happen every match, but we haven't seen them in the lead, it feels like, in quite some time, and that's a dangerous opening kill. Kerrigan goes down. Another rifle salvaged for VP.
Feels dangerous. Ooh, James going down, trying to get the rifle, I think. Felt dangerous to me having both the AKs stacked on top of each other in the middle like that, but it obviously worked out. Rops in the corner, leading the pistol, and then there's the AK right on the other side. So Sanji went down so quick, it was kind of not really what they were looking for. I think they probably wanted for him to be a bit more of a distraction. Rob's opening up the bomb site and even realizing no one is there. Not sure why they're not moving over, Mousesports. And out at long.
This is where you can.
Oh, well, I was hoping there would be more of a fight.
That's my bad for interrupting you. I think this is where you can see the inexperience, or maybe just this lineup not feeling comfortable together on VP. Like the call, and you could see Nickelback really kind of struggling to get over to help out. Nice little boost there, but they know where two players are now.
1-on-2. Yakandar low on health, so otherwise would have been, I think, potentially a cool... oh my god, he actually going to get the headshot. That's incredible. Bomb is not planted. Woxic now coming in with an AWP. He's got the right lineup, and he'll save them again. Man, that was quick that he got that first kill. I was going to say otherwise his health...
I think Yakandar... Yeah, Yakandar had to be a little bit sad that Woxic caught him. It looked like he was trying to make a play to get over towards the corner boxes, the Gandalf boxes, to find some relative safety. The fact that Woxic pushed up that aggressively kind of ruins his plans, got him stuck in the open. Mousesports just narrowly holding on. 13-15, 2 more rounds.
2 more rounds. But remember, that was the half buy coming in from VP. This time it's the real deal. And again, they've brought it this far. They put in a lot of energy to get here. Would be a shame if they fell to the Thai Kings that are Mousesports.
Mid to be split, here it comes. Nickelback gonna push out. Again, he's all on his own. Actually, no, Kicker comes through with him. No result. No success. And Jame needs to fall back with that op. There's no Virtus.pro. Can save this top. They might just be done. That's so risky. But he finds the one kill to allow him to escape quickly. And Mousesports is going to be just one away from another tie.
Mid to B, and I mean, again, once the mid part of that defense goes down for VP, there's really nothing left. Are they really going to... How many ties have they got so far, Mousesports? It feels like they're just doing it all the time now. It's become... Maybe it's like a branding strategy they've got going on. That like, no one else is known for this. Maybe we could be...
I think they've had two draws.
All right, could be adding a third one here.
This would be their third. Yeah.
That was actually a lightning fast shot coming out from Jame. Again,
well, I'm sad I missed it.
I feel like I'm being trolled by Jame. He's got 26 kills.
I know.
Look at it
We would
here.
have liked to have seen this. All right. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, he did a good job.
That's nasty. All right, one final round, Anders. What do you call if you're Mousesports? Are you going for the mid to B split? Are you going for the B attack? It's been so successful for you against. I think VP's only really stopped it once when they had 3 players at the bomb site.
What about a 5-man mid rush? Just get everyone out there fighting. They'll never expect it.
You've lost your mind. You've lost the entirety of your brain.
Yeah, but so have the teams. So I don't think that. I don't even think that puts me that far behind. They're surely just as crazy, aren't they? Got the MP9 in play on Yakanda. We've got that orb on Jame and one on Woxic. And here we go. Round number 30. It's either going to be another tie, third one for Mousesports, or maybe a chance here for VP to actually cause some real upset, which would be interesting. Chris, quick at the corner. Frozen holding the long position. No one holding up a dark once again for Mousesports. Seems to be a recurring theme.
Oh, they're going at Jame, though. There's 4 defenders at this A bomb site. Nickelback is in spawn. Looking towards mid. 3 players coming up catwalk. Jame misses the initial shot and falls back. There it is onto Chris J. If he can deliver, Virtus.pro can still take this map. One more. Molotov burns him into the open. Great shot onto Woxic. And we have a 3-on-2. Make it 1. It's just Frozen trying to cross over from long. And Mousesports, it looks like they're just going to fall short. They rattled off 4 straight to get here. But this is almost an impossible clutch for Frozen.
Yeah, it feels like smoke goes up at least. They're right on the other side. They're going to throw a lot of grenades coming right through. Yakandar going down, but Nickel back there to remind him who he really is, Jason. 16, 14, and we're going to have a huge upset on our hands. Well, that was a crazy game that we just got to see with VP upsetting the situation in spite of the stand-in. So credit to them. So a lot of action coming out from Jame and from Sanji as well. 16-14, you see the results right there. Can't wait for the analyst to break it down for us. That's coming up after the break. Stay tuned.